Mike Sierra 1
can't handle the truth.
You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are. How can you do a thing like this?
I am authorized to assure you these rumors are based on hysteria and are absolutely false. I repeat, these rumors are absolutely false.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining me yet again as I take another look into the relentless lies of Mike Zeroh. It has been pointed out in the past few weeks that these videos are just telling people what they already know, and in a good many cases this is absolutely true. Many committed fans do know who Zeroh is and now give him a wide berth. But for the many who are familiar with him, there will be just as many who aren't. They don't know his approach to his so-called news stories and how he is more interested in making you side with his thoughts and opinions, which is easy as he only caters for those who don't like Star Wars under Disney. These videos are made to negate his silencing methods that he uses to shut down people's free speech, which he welcomes, but basically he doesn't. I look for his ever-changing insights into the workings of Disney and Lucasfilm, which pretty much contradict what he has told you before. If you asked a question to him directly and that goes against what he is saying, well, that's pretty much you done. You would be hard pushed to find any negative comments within the comment section of any video he puts out. We are now just over a week away from The Mandalorian Season 3 and Zeroh hasn't dropped one piece of news surrounding that show whatsoever. Nothing about the plot. Nothing about the worlds that will be visited, not even any word on who will be showing up as a cameo. Why? Because he doesn't know. He thinks and pretends he does, but it's all a front, it's all clickbait. But he can tell you that the board are upset, because someone put a glass down on a table without using a coaster. Iger is losing his mind about how to fire Kennedy. Kennedy herself has fired more people than a potter has pots, and goes out of her way to sabotage anything she can lay her hands on. Shows show up and then they're cancelled by some mysterious force, no pun intended. Creatives with no names are seemingly fired because they were seen next to the coffee machine talking to Kennedy, thus must have an allegiance to her, and would set light to Jon Favreau's car if she told them to do it. Work is underway on shows that won't go into production until around 2075. George Lucas is working on stuff behind the scenes, which basically means he's at home and enjoying what he wants to do, and spending more time with his family. Daisy Ridley is doing more interviews than actually working on anything at the moment, and every interview she takes part in ends up sounding like she's in a rocking chair on a porch and remembers how she once heard that Jon Favreau's car was set alight by an ardent Kennedy supporter.
Now further, creators John and Dave were contacted by Disney executives if they wanted to fix some of Kennedy's scenes again for Skeleton Crew, and even John and Dave respectfully refused to take part in that project again for Kennedy.
All roads lead to Kennedy. This is the main antagonist in all of Zeroh's videos. And the only reason she plays this role is because Zeroh panders to those who hate her, just as much as him. At the moment, Zeroh is set on trashing the Skeleton Crew and the Acolyte because of her involvement in these shows. What Zeroh seems to forget, and I covered this before, is that Favreau and Filoni are already executive producers on the Skeleton Crew, so why is the board asking for them to come in and fix a show they're already involved with? Simple answer, Kennedy is apparently ballsing it all up, so the heroes in Zeroh's eyes need to be sent in to save the day. Here is a section of text taken from Wikipedia that explains the truth of the matter. During Star Wars Celebration at the end of May 2022, the series title was revealed to be Star Wars: Skeleton Crew. It was confirmed to be set in the same time frame as The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, with Dave Filoni serving as an executive producer after doing the same on those series alongside Favreau. Another executive producer, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, explained that Watts had approached her about making a Star Wars series inspired by the Amblin film The Goonies. Kennedy had served as an executive producer on that film, and said Skeleton Crew evolved out of that kind of enthusiasm in wanting to tell stories in this space. Yes, the woman who put John and Dave together for The Mandalorian, the woman who gave the go-ahead for the Skeleton Crew, is hell-bent on ruining both shows, because Zeroh said so, and yet he can't produce anything to prove it, other than tell you she deleted stuff, had sets knocked down and fired people on shows that she committed to. Yep, that all sounds very businesslike. And if you think that Kennedy is somehow overriding Favreau and Filoni, because she has some kind of vendetta against those two, as Zeroh would have you believe, think on this for a moment. A comment from John himself in Variety. Each storyteller brings their own personality to it. The groups that are working on Skeleton Crew are led by John Watts, whom I collaborated with on all the Spider-Man movies. This has been a real fun time, and the great filmmakers that he's engaged with have been bringing their perspectives as well, Favreau says. So if the rumors are to be believed and all the Disney Plus shows are somehow coming together, in a Marvel-esque way, excluding the possible inclusion of The Acolyte, then Kennedy would be seriously jeopardizing everything put together by John and Dave and all those who have participated in what is to come. Say what you will about her, but even she wouldn't be so stupid as to put herself on her own chopping block. Again, I reiterate a previous comment I made about Kennedy. I want her to go, that way Zeroh would have no MacGuffin to hang the blame on, with scenarios that just don't exist in the first place. This would be so true, so let's hold out for that prediction about her leaving in either April or August, according to Zeroh.
Bob Iger is already in the process of rehiring Gina Carano, in giving her up to 8 months to make an official decision on her return to the franchise.
If you have watched any of my other videos, you will know that we have touched on this before, and as a consequence of that, you're probably sick of hearing about it, but this is Zeroh for you, and I need context yet again. I have also stated without any hesitation that Zeroh will use Gina's firing for as long as he can, and also her rehiring for Mando Season 4. At the time of his video released back in 2022, Bob Iger gave her 8 months to think about her decision to come back, which would mean her answer had to come by the 15th of August 2023. But after that video from December the 15th, 2022, we only had to wait 1 month and 13 days before Zeroh came out with this.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly which side she takes, but for now, behind closed doors, she is rehired for Mando 4. It's just a matter of her accepting that, and she has to accept it by this April before they begin actually, producing the actual new season.
Again, you have to take note in regards to the language being used here. She is rehired behind closed doors. Her fate has seemingly been preordained for her. She still has to give her final decision whether to come back, but for now she is rehired for Season 4 of The Mandalorian, and her final decision has to come in April, which is now 4 months earlier than Zeroh claimed in the last clip I played you.
This is actually, believe it or not, moving along very well. In fact, it's all really down to Gina's decision right now until May. She's got until May to make a decision. Bob Iger wants her back. He's welcoming her back with open arms, as well as the Disney board members. To them, it's a marketing move, yes, but to John and Dave, they just genuinely want her back.
Her decision had to come in August, then it was April, and finally Gina has to give an answer to her return in May, which is now 3 months earlier than he first stated. This is the same kind of setup he used when talking about the interviews she was supposed to have given in March, April, May, June, July and finally August, and yet nothing happened. He has rolled out the same thing, but this time it's all about her coming back as opposed to phantom interviews she never did. Whatever way you want to slice it, although you might not agree with some things I have said, Zeroh is a liar who can't get his facts straight or even has the ability to keep his stories consistent. If you watched any of those videos over time, the chances are you might well have forgotten things like dates, etc., but when you go back and look again, it's easy to spot inconsistencies that again call into question the truth of Zeroh's claims. Well, that's all I have for you today, so until the next time, take care and I'll see you again soon.